Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Autopilot in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're good here in the Airbus A320. I'm using the fly-by-wire version, but the Asobo and Phoenix version will work exactly the same. We've got our mini FCU by Mini Cockpit here, which works really well. And yeah, so let's take off. So as you can see here and here, the auto throttle's already turned on. And if we pull the levers back to the climb detent, which is the first one above idle, then that engages the autopilot, and that means the autopilot is going to follow the selected speed. So the speed right now is in managed mode, and the managed speed it wants us to hold is 210 knots. But if we pull that, we can select a speed that we want it to fly and turn it like that. I believe it's middle click if you don't have one of these, and you can see the blue arrow there means we're going to accelerate to 180 knots. Now we can engage the autopilot, and that's currently in heading mode, which means it's going to fly what the map says here. So it's going to follow that route, and we're going to be climbing to 5,000 foot, which is put in here. We're going to manage the speed quickly. Also put the flap up, and yeah, so we can pull the heading bug, and that maintains the current heading that we're at. So it's 200. As you can see, we're just coming on to 200 degrees now. But if we turn the heading bug left to say 180 degrees, it's going to turn us left as well. If we then turn it right to like 210, it starts to turn us right over there. Now we can also use the altitude. So if we want to climb to say 6,000 foot, you turn it to 6,000. You then pull it, which will climb as quickly as it can to 6,000 foot whilst maintaining the same speed. We're just going to come back on our path here, so we're going to fly heading about 140. Good. And you see here we've got Autopilot 1, Auto Throttle engaged. You can swap Autopilot 1 to Autopilot 2. I mean, they don't really do much, except if one fails, you can use the other one. And if I push the heading now to nav mode, you'll see it's going to get us onto the route we've got as quickly as it can. And we're approaching 6,000 foot now. Now what you can use here is, if we were climbing 7,000 foot, you can pull the vertical speed here and tell the plane how fast you want it to climb. Say you want to climb quite fast, you can put 3,000 feet per minute, and that's going to pull the plane up quite fast. Or if you want us to go slower up climb at say 500 feet per minute, that's now going to manage 500 feet per minute up to 7,000 foot. However, if we pull this, it will climb as quick as it can whilst maintaining our 250 knots airspeed. If you push the heading bug, it follows the next altitude in the nav. So if I push it, it will climb to 7,000 but stopping at each altitude, or descend to whatever and stop at the altitude at each waypoint. So if we zoom out on the map here, you can see the plan we've got here. 4,000 foot at DF 680. So now if we want to get down, we can descend to 3,000. If we push the knob this time, you see there's a purple, it goes purple, and we're now hitting 4,000 instead of 3,000 because that's the constraint barrier there. And we're also going to turn on our landing systems because we've got the ILS for Frankfurt's 25 left. Now I want to go a bit faster, so what we can do, we can pull the speed bug and twist it all the way up to something quite fast, like 310 knots, and that's going to put power on to accelerate. If I want to descend even quicker than that, I can use the exped or expedite function. And what that does is it descends the plane as quickly as it can. It goes at its maximum speed just to get down. So we're going to show you that here. So we're going down really fast now. Okay, so we can see our lovely hand delivery. Frankfurt Airport, I think, is about there somewhere. A bit far off now. We're gonna need to get the speed back down. So what we can do for that is we can engage approach mode, approach phase. And that's going to start speed right down from 300. Oh, turn off the autopilot. 340 knots all the way down to 133 knots. So you can see the auto throttle doing that. Now, as you see on the joystick here, we've got the red button, and that disconnects the autopilot, so you can fly the plane manually. And also on the throttles here, we've got two red buttons either side, and that disconnects the auto throttle. Now, also on the altitude marker, you see there's 1,000 foot and 100 foot. If we swap that to 100 foot, we can change the altitude we want to be at by the hundreds, and 1,000 that changes it by the thousands. Our ILS is now coming in a bit. Look out our window. Yeah, Frankfurt Airport is over there. So I'm just going to show you disconnecting the plane and flying without the autopilot. So press the red button. You see autopilot 1 disconnects. And I've still got my flight directors, the 2 green arrows, which I can follow. I can just re-engage at any time like that. And for the auto throttle, pressing those 2 red disconnects the auto throttle. So I've now got manual thrust. I can engage it back on here. So as we're approaching the glide slope and also coming in with the localizer now, we can do is press this button, which is going to track onto the ILS localizer for 25 left, and it will hold that heading for us. So if we hit that in, now you see it goes green, and here it says nav localizer, and should capture it soon. Localizer start, that means it's captured it, and it's now turning in towards it. I'm actually going to manage the speed here because we want to get in quickly. So put the speed all the way up to 165 knots. And here, if we hit the approach mode, what approach does is it now means the altitude. We're going to follow the glide slope on altitude. So we're just going to follow that down with the ILS to the runway. Yeah, so it's a Cat 3 single. And to make that even more robust, we can add the Autopilot 2 as well. So both of them are on now, and that's Cat 3 dual. And that means if basically if one fails, the plane can still auto-land. And now we can just let the plane land itself. Now the automatic doesn't do the smoothest of landings in the world, but it does it in peace, and especially if you have lots of fog, using auto-land is really helpful, which you can't see. But you can always just go manual and land with the ILS still. Let's go a bit higher right now. So it's got land, which means it's now landing the plane automatically. And it will actually start to slow down a bit for you. I should put a bit of auto brake on. Auto brake low. See how smooth the autopilot can land. Not much of a flare, but that was decent. 250 feet per minute. And yeah guys, so that's how to use the autopilot for the Airbus A320 and Microsoft Flight Sim, and it works in any sim. So yeah, hope you find this video enjoyable. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment and share this with all your friends. Thanks for watching.